What's up, everyone? Sunday night, the end of the month. That means one thing. It is Brains and Brews Live. This is episode number 2. We're going to try something a little different because it takes us forever to get to our beer, and Cottonmouth kind of sets in at that point. So, before we get to the movie, we're going to tell you what we are drinking. And I am having from Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York, Lakeshore Fog. It's with aromas of tropical and stone fruits. It is low bitterness. I had one other version of this.
You're cutting out, Joe.
Oh, I had another version of this. I'll explain where later. But this is, low bitterness, malty sweetness,
Well,
and
hold
with
on, brother.
piney hops.
Let's talk about it.
Get that poured in there because, yeah, I was getting kind of thirsty.
There we go, Joe. Here we go. Read them stats, son. Read them stats. What you got? Lakeshore Frog, Southern Tier Brewing Company. Now, this is your beer.
Yep.
It's a New England IPA.
Yeah.
So it's ranked, number 3,400, I guess, in the world.
Oh, that's
What you got, brother?
pretty
You got a
good.
6.5 alcohol volume on that guy.
Mhm.
And if you see here, it is a faint crescent moon, like moonlight, hangs low in the azure sky I can't read all that shit.
That's fine. And
I'm blind and it's really small text.
You're
but
good. You're good.
It just seems fascinating. The funny thing is, when I was looking for this beer, I thought it was Frog. I'm like, Lakeshore Frog. Where the
I
fuck
would
is
not
this beer?
get anything with the name Frog, and you know that.
I-
Ever. No ribbon. But I'm going to say one thing. It's like light. It's very clear, a lot clearer than I'm used to.
yeah.
However, it for a 6.5 and that light, that could be very dangerous on how quickly you can drink this
It
beer.
got a little kick in. I got a little kick.
Actually, no. Like, you know how you normally get the bitterness, like that little on the. No, it's very low bitterness. Like it's faintly there, to be honest with you, which is a good thing. But maybe like this for somebody who wants to try IPAs but doesn't like that bitterness that you get from the IPAs, this would be a good one to try out.
What's
I mean,
the
it's a
color? Let me
six.
take a look at the color.
It's a 6.5.
Okay. So it's clear.
Yeah, it's a little clearer than what I normally drink. But right now, it's very yummy and it's satiating the thirst.
Only Joe would use the word yummy and satiating back to back.
And what are you having tonight?
All right. Well, let's take a look here.
Uncle
I'm gonna
Ben's.
pull it up right here. Let's just get that out of the way. Now, this is something different. I like to grab my guys a little. I go by the cans. So I got the villainous villains, yeah, and I collect the cans, dude. I'm a collector, so I love this can. You can see it better on the actual picture here, but it's got a giant lizard on here, lizard man, like the lizard from the Amazing Spider-Man, but it's got a bunch of crazy animated villains on there, made up of course, but this is it's from New York. This is a New York beer. Kings County, yeah, Kings County Brewing Collective, 6.9, so it's almost a 7. This guy is ranked 1,532 as far as American IPAs are concerned. So I gotta check the stats on it to see what's the pool we're working with here, if that's impressive or not. But 88. This is an 88 score, as was yours. So we are, ironically, they both got the same overall score. By the way, this is this here, what's it called? Beer Advocate is the name of this page. So if you want to go and look up information on your brews, it's pretty easy to navigate, and it's got some pretty good stats on here. And it's got a little, paragraph on the bottom to kind of describe what you're about to drink. So I'm gonna take my first sip, my brother. Now it is clear, just like yours, a little darker. This looks more like a it looks more like a traditional lager, but let's take a look. Oh. You ever had a beer where it doesn't have like a particular taste, but it has like a feeling? It's hard to explain. Like you could taste like the hops per se, but there's no flavor. But
It's just hops.
it's a weird feeling. It feels fresh. It feels refreshing. It does. I just can't nail a taste on it quite.
Now, this
yet.
is not like the ones I like to get that have like the citrus and stuff like that. This is
No. So far, no. Let's take a look here. What does it says? All right, so it's got stone fruit, pithy, well, tangerine and grapefruit bitters, and exactly resin, an earthly
Yeah.
resin. See, I can't read this shit. It's too small. But yes, there you go. That answers my question. But
There you go. That sounds like something I would drink. I'll have to find out what's the ABV on it.
6.9, 6.9.
Oh, a little bit more than mine. All right. All right. And with that, of course, we are also here to talk zombies.
What we talking,
And
Joe? What we talking? Oh, look at it. Look at down there. That's
we're going to
what
be
you know
talking
what we're
Overlord. It's my first watch, and I can't wait to talk about it. So let's get going on that show.
It has been established have recently died, have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
From Brooklyn to Manhattan, from Harlem to Queens, the zombies are taking over.
Widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life, seeking human victims.
No more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
Salute.
Salute. So yes, tonight we're talking Overlord. I can't remember if it was me or Rick who picked this one. Might have been me actually when we were coming up with a list. I'd never seen it. I know that it had to do with zombies. I'm like, we're doing a show about zombies. Let's check it out. The production company, or I guess the studio, is Bad Robot. So almost any time I see the Bad Robot logo come on my screen, I know I'm going to be in for a good time. It's very rarely that I can say there were Bad Robot movies that I was in, all into.
Oh, but was The Force Awakens Bad Robot?
Yeah, it was, but I didn't. I had my qualms on that one, but
I think of Star Trek when I think of Bad Robot.
yeah, and those were fun too.
And I would prefer those films honestly to the newer Star Wars films.
But the movie is directed by Julius Avery. It's written by Billy Ray and Mark L. Russell, and it stars Jovan Adepo as PFC Edward Boyce, Wyatt Russell as Corporal Lewis Ford, Matilde Olivier as Chloe Laurent, and John Mangaro as Lyle Timmett. Well, before we go ahead into
There
this,
you go.
I was
There
going
you
to
go.
say...
I read your mind, brother. I read your mind.
Catch my breath.
Well, I can read it.
Sorry.
if you like.
Hey, Devilish Handsome Beer Brothers. I'm driving to work in crazy rain. Yeah, I was worried that we were going to have some thunder while we're trying to do this. So yeah, be careful and make sure, drive very carefully. These Florida people are kind of crazy. And listening and tuned in. Badass intro and okay, yeah, I was about to say you should not be watching while you're driving, Lexi. That's some dedication, doing it while she's driving to work in a storm.
Yeah, brother, absolutely, man.
But what I really liked about this movie though is it took place kind of in actual times, which was on the eve of D-Day,
1944.
1944. A world war. And the beginning, I know we're here to talk about zombies, but I just have to touch upon this beginning. So these soldiers, it's a whole group, they're being sent in to basically destroy this tower to knock out destroy this tower so that way our people can have signals and be able to basically wage the war.
It's a jamming tower, essentially.
A jamming tower.
Yeah.
And along that flight, I sat there. I had messaged you because I had done a couple things, and I'm like, I'm gonna have some coffee. I had stopped drinking, 2 cups of coffee. I have never been so stressed, and I have never held myself so tightly while watching a movie as that beginning sequence. The whole way it was shot inside the plane, the way when you looked out the window, seeing all the other fucking planes blowing up, I was like, holy shit. The other thing in my brain that I was kind of putting it close to is the beginning of Saving Private Ryan. Yeah. That's about as close as I can put it to. But then when they show him falling out of the plane, bro, I
should have saw that scene in the theater, bro.
Oh, I would have left. I'm sorry I missed it in the theater. That scene, I literally, my teeth were clenched. I was so And I'm like, oh my God, relax yourself for a minute. It was just, whoo. But I mean, what'd you think of that whole intro?
Insanity, sheer insanity. I love how ominous it was, how it was establishing all of the characters inside of the plane. They're a paratrooper unit, and I love how without saying much, it told you exactly the person. It showed you the personalities of all of the, the characters, the soldiers. You know who's who before they even hit the ground, and just the explosions in the background, the sound of gunfire, and plus if you know this day in history, you know what's to be expected, so you know what awaits them when they do, if they manage to even hit the ground. And what I loved about this scene is a lot of it was practical. It was, they had an actual plane. I don't know if it was a role plane, but probably it was on the stage, but they use real explosions. They were, it was like one of those units that tilt, so it gives you the sensation that they're in the air and stuff. But very little CGI at all. And a lot of the guys getting thrown out of the plane through the fire were all stuntmen, so that gave it that sense of weight. Because once CGI is involved and you see someone fly or an explosion, and you could tell it's CGI, it feels hollow. But when it's real and practical, it just has that tangible element to it. I always say the Lord of the Ring films, the originals, there were guys in makeup, prosthetics, real swords clashing against one another. When The Hobbit came, it was all CGI, and it felt like a cartoon. It just no impact whatsoever. And that's what this reminded me of, where it felt like something that is real. Like it's not, you're not taken out by computer effects, And the ones that were there, they were used to enhance moments, not to highlight them, And I loved it. I loved it, especially it goes from the ominous setup, right? The anxiety that becomes over you, and then once the explosion starts happening, you see the other planes side to their side exploding and coming down. They're taking hit after hit. Pieces of the plane is just poof poof getting blown to smithereens, right? Until finally, I think it was the front, right? What went for the back? One of the back. The back went first.
The back, because he told him, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
The fucking shit is blowing up around this guy. And he's like, gotta wait for that light. I wanted to go. Yes, yeah. Fuck that shit. Let's get up and hook up. What do you mean, wait for the light? Like, no.
The moment for the light is when they're over their destination or where they're supposed to land. I'm assuming it has to be, because remember, it's all about the mission.
You're right.
They're not there to live. They're there to carry their mission out.
All right. So, you actually, what you just said, pretty much my bitching for it was probably they were waiting for the exact target. And this is, all right.
That's how I took it, because if they were just to eject anywhere, they're never going to get to the destination. So they had to wait. But, and then we get to the free fall section. Man, see, I saw this before the last VHS, remember when they had the free fall scene. So I experienced this prior to that, and like I said, being in the theater on the big screen, dude, and just seeing like how nerve-wracking that was, and you're seeing all the explosions around the guy. Then he pulls his chute out, and you're seeing people around him getting just blown up and on fire, and it's a crazy scenario. And what's good about this, and what makes it even better, is this was a real moment in history. Mind you, it wasn't as fantastical as this, right? If you want more realism and grit, go watch Saving Private Ryan, which is still the king of D-Day films.
It is. But I would put this right now as far as the intros involving war.
But yeah, with more like a bombastic element to it. This shit's awesome. And I love when he hits the water, everything slows down. It's like
and sound.
They use the impact of him going into the water to slow things down, catch your breath, and you're seeing everything, like you're seeing the bodies in the water, and you see the bullets, the debris going in, and he gets out, man. And then from there on, when he goes onto the beach, or it was like a marsh or something, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was definitely not. It wasn't. It was like a marsh, yeah, kind of like a marsh. And then, man, if you want to take it from there, man, how did you like the transition from that crazy insanity to when he hits the ground? Because I did like that transition.
Well, as he's going down, I do have to say, I said, wow, whoever actually went through this, survived it, like fucking bravo, bro, and Mrs. Whoever, because
How many guys were in that? Only 4? Okay, 5 total. 5, yeah.
Well, no, 6,
Oh, it was
7,
6. It was 6. You know
7.
why?
Because one was the guy who was in charge was killed on screen,
Oh,
and
yeah, you're right. It was
Joseph
7.
Quinn's character was killed off screen.
Yeah.
He landed, but he got captured. So yeah, 7. I
Was
want
he
to
the
say.
one that the body they found in the back of the truck?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know, because he was in the plane, but I didn't
He
see
was in
him
the plane.
after. So.
Dude, he was very short. It's funny. Like I was like sitting here going, oh, there's a whole lot of Marvel and Game of Thrones people in this movie.
Oh yeah. Game of Thrones were all over the place.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no. When it went into the water and literally the sound of the water, I mean, no pun intended, drowned out the sound of the war.
That sound design, dude. Yeah.
And he's sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, I would be so panicked. But he kept his wits about him, cutting all the stuff off. But I would have been a lot more panicked than he was. But the whole when he comes up,
he's
he's trying to breathe. Yeah, I mean, he's got all that shit is heavy. Like he's one of the ones that lost the bombs because all of them had bombs in their backpacks, so he had to cut that off. Just from beginning to finish till he gets out of the water, it's very anxiety. Like like I said, I was holding my breath, and by holding myself, it's just more of like I just couldn't imagine it. But if this is what it would have been like, I think I just experienced what this would have been like if I had been there, because that's how good I thought it was shot. And then I'm like, all right, so we got a good war movie here, because I love war movies also.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I love them, man.
So I'm like, all right, this is gonna actually be a little different, because I thought that when they all got down, that's it. There's zombies on the ground. Now they got to survive it. And it didn't turn out to be that.
Yeah, it's not what you expect, yeah.
No, it actually turned out to be, that they, by happenstance, ended up coming to a lab where they're creating new soldiers. So in the reasoning for putting Overlord into this series, they were bringing back the dead.
Yeah,
so
they're
that's a zombie. They reanimated something. That's a zombie.
Type of zombie, but
a different type of zombie.
They're zombies.
But because I know you take a little bit more notes than I do, which I'm always grateful for. What was the mission of the scientists in the type of zombies they were trying to create?
I was gonna bring this up later, but now that you asked this, you would appreciate this because you're a comic book guy. Think about it this way. This is the way I would explain this film to anybody. Think about it. Captain America versus the Red Skull. 2 super soldiers, essentially. Mm-hmm. They're creating a super soldier serum. The scientists want to make this soldier that's invulnerable, indestructible. If you notice, they could get shot in the head. They come back. You really got to pulverize them and burn them, to finish them off. And that's what's unique about this movie. And it's kind of a shame because I wish that we would have got more like horde, of zombies in the film, which it's fine. We've seen it plenty, but I wanted to see at least a little bit more of what they're able to do. But what we did get, it heals you for one. You don't die from your wounds. But it's weird because for example, with Chase took the serum after he passed away, after he died, he was shot.
Yeah, he died.
He came back, but he started mutating. That was a crazy ass scene when his neck snapped back. By the way, practical again. His bones came out of his chest. All that was all puppeteering. No CGI in that. Awesome.
Nice.
And so yeah, it's interesting because all right, it reanimates you. You come back stronger. You're indestructible. You got strength. You could kick some fucking ass essentially. But I wanted to see them use weapons, fire weapons. I want to see an actual army of these things. Not because this movie's all set up, but then everything gets destroyed, so we never see their plan come to fruition. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But yeah, that's how I took it. It's a super soldier serum, but it brings you back to life if you are dead. And I think they wanted this, you know, the Germans, the Nazis. By the way, there's no swastikas in this movie by design,
No,
obviously.
yeah, I'm glad about that. I mean, well, and I think I may have read something that this was an alternate.
It's alternate reality, yeah.
It's alternate reality.
It is.
So
It
you
is,
know
yeah.
that's how it's because it just seemed more like in this one like the Germans were actually were winning a lot more in this war from what it appeared.
Yep.
But yeah, I liked the hints and everything you got to the experiment itself. Like what I watched it twice, but they were using tar
Yeah,
that was
so
under France.
that's what it is. There's a tar that they mix in with I think it's the blood of the villagers, the French in the area. They mix it and it creates the most of the portion that's used for the serum, and that's how. I mean, they never explain where the tar came from or what
Well,
it is,
yeah,
but
well,
it
no,
is
they
like
said
a
they
black
said it was
tar.
under France, and that
It's under-
France
yeah,
had
it's
no
yeah,
idea that it
it's
was
under.
under there.
Yep.
They refined it in order to, and they've been using it. And for them was, oops, sorry that France didn't figure it out. We figured it out. And Wagner, the guy, Euron Greyjoy.
You're right.
Wagner,
The guy always plays a great villain, man.
he is. What he was also in Salem's Lot, which we reviewed.
He was in it. Wait.
Yeah, he was the guy. He was the caregiver.
That movie.
The one that was going into town while Barnaby, right? Or was that the guy's name? Whatever his name was, while he slept. But he was telling them that, in order for them to have this war, and for them to basically have control over everything, it's going to take 1,000 years, and we're going to need 1,000. It's basically reviving. They would revive their own soldiers for fighting.
An endless supply of soldiers. Yeah.
Endless supply of soldiers.
They fall down, they get back up, and dust them off for the next battle.
Well, and they at this point were only testing it on the dead. They hadn't tested on anybody who is alive.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, sorry. They haven't tested anybody who's alive. So they only got to see.
Yes.
Yeah, they only up at this point. All of the test subjects have been dead.
Yeah.
Before we go on, if you want to.
There you go, brother.
Them up.
What up?
Oh, I got it.
I can read it if you want. I can see it here.
You sure? All right.
Yeah, I can see it. What up, Joe and Ricky? Fabulous to catch y'all live. I got my Penguins on the TV, enjoying some hockey, but listening to y'all on the phone. Thanks, Norman. Rad, appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Soren.
Good luck to your Penguins.
Yeah, go Penguins.
Go Penguins.
Are the Whalers still in it?
Whalers? Hartford?
I know.
Are they
It's
still
a joke.
team?
I know. No, I always tell that
I
to
don't know
anybody.
anything about hockey.
Anybody who talks hockey, I'm like, are the Whalers still in it? They're like, dude, they've been gone. I'm like, I know. But yes, they were the Hartford Whalers.
By the way, thank you, Joe, for allowing me to have my Brains and Brew moment the other night. LOL. Thank you, Alexi, for filling in. Me and GR didn't get a chance to watch the film, but you stepped up. Appreciate that. You and Joe killed it. Adam, hey, guys. Sorry I'm late. I lost track of time. Yeah, man. That
Hey,
can
thanks
happen.
for joining.
Yeah. Red, get ready. What? Green jump.
Red, get ready, green jump out of the plane.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
That's the instructions.
If you all like this movie, watch 1917. It is
Oh.
fantastic, not horror, but in terms of World War, it's top tier cinema. I agree. I
We've
saw
seen that one. We talked about that.
That is actually I saw that one and Invisible Man right before COVID shut everything down. 1917 was great, but I would always remember because that was when COVID was getting talked about. There was this guy next to me coughing his fucking lungs out, and I'm like, what the- oh no. But yeah, 1917,
That's
great
an
film.
awesome movie.
The one-shot trick to it, well made. Thanks, Norin. Like that recommendation. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah.
Twinsy.
Oh, she's talking to Norn.
Yeah, I know. This movie is not an easy watch if you have anxiety. That's me, man. Oh, bro. Whew. All right. Hello. Chloe was kick-ass. Thank goodness a super soldier didn't came to be. They accomplished more than their mission. And what I liked about this movie is Ford actually said, blow up the labs, but because he doesn't want not only the Nazis to get it, but he don't want the Americans to get it, because he knows nothing good is gonna come out of this thing. And
I thought that was honorable. I
Yeah,
like that.
and even what's the main character's name? Boy,
Voice.
Boyce. Even Boyce, when they asked him anything else down there was talks about laboratories. Like, nope, ain't nothing down there. Joe the Whalers, great one.
All right. So, yeah. So, as we were discussing, the scientists were basically experimenting on the dead, bringing them back. I love, I love the look of the scientist. No, I'm sorry. I love the look of them once they started mutating. The practical effects was awesome.
Yeah, the makeup
But-
work was pretty good. Yeah.
As they're doing their experimenting, they're actually experimenting on exactly how invulnerable they can make them.
Yep.
And you had mentioned something about them getting shot in the head. This took the zombie trope and basically it made zombies unstoppable. I think only one when after Boyce killed Chase by basically smashing his head in.
That
was the only time he stayed down. Other than that, you saw like they stab, shot, everything.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
I was gonna. So, did you like how basically invulnerable these zombies?
Yeah, I loved it. I love it when there was like the ones that are all defective, and they just all right. Let's see what happens if we burn them. If we burn them all, they just kept. And the sad part about it, they're all villagers. You know, they're the ones that were being experimented on. And I like it when our main villain absolutely took two. He took two of the vials, and the doctor was like, no, you know, we never tested it on human subjects, but this guy had half his face missing. I was like, fuck it, what's gonna happen to? I'm dead anyway, man. You know, so I did like that. Like I said, the only thing I wish I wanted more of that. I wanted more of the zombies, but I wanted to see I wanted to see more of what they could do. I didn't think we got enough of that, you know, because we did get it with the main guy. I mean, he picked up my man Ford and put him on that meat hook fucking Leatherface style, man.
I was gonna say, I sat there. I'm like, nice,
pulling it
nice
and he
Texas
can't.
chainsaw.
Oh, man! Then when he pulls it out, he's holding. You see the blood's coming down. It's like, ooh, yeah, that's a bad. You ain't coming back from that one. So that's why he took the serum. Plus, he knew he wasn't gonna make it out. In order for that mission to survive, he wasn't making it out. He said, you know what?
No.
I got nothing to lose. Let me take this serum. I was curious if it was gonna mutate him like it did Chase. It didn't, because he was alive, I'm assuming. So it takes it takes longer for the mutation to go into effect. Because he did his eyes started getting like red or something like near the end, and he looked kind of fucked up when he told Boyce to get the hell out and blow the whole joint up, man.
Well, and I would have liked to actually have seen when they return someone, and then I know this is gory, whatever, it's horror, it's basically why we watch it. Them do the experiment, you know, and sit there and show them like shoot the person in the head, you know, and see if they come back.
I did like that woman, that French woman. All she was her head. And you see like
Oh,
her spine attached still, like Sub-Zero.
I'm like, how the
ripped
fuck
her
she's
head
still
off.
alive?
There you go. That was creepy.
Mhm.
That gave me like George Romero Day of the Dead vibes, man. That was great.
I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Yes,
Honestly,
yes, absolutely,
like,
1000%.
I guess if they would have, because I kept going back and forth on what am I watching here? Was this meant to be a action war movie?
Yeah.
But if you're putting zombies in it and you're going horror, so now you're a horror movie. But because it was more military, involving the mission, I got it. They could have taken out some of those parts and put in some of the testing. Like, you know, on that part, I too would have liked. And even when the other ones came out to like started circling forward, like I'm like, couldn't they all come out before? You only had that one that Chloe.
The one that Chloe took,
And I knew you were going to say the same thing. I was like, Ricky's going to mention, and I agree. I would have liked to just have seen more, and especially since we know there was not going to be a sequel, unless the scientists worked with somebody else who might have the information. But more than likely, there's not going to be a sequel to it. It's just, I wanted to see more of that invulnerability because, you know, when the guy that was fighting Chloe, like when she put the gun to his head, and I'm like, and Adam kept going, shoot him in the head,
And
shoot him in
that's
the
why
head,
they did that.
and it
They know as an audience, you're already, tuned, and you respect a shot to the head to end him. When he came back, like, okay, I figured that was gonna happen.
Well, I mean, see, and I didn't. So when I first saw it, I saw it by myself because I, didn't want to be interrupted. And when that happened, I'm like, well, how the fuck are you gonna kill these guys? Like, all right, they're actually creating, and I didn't think about the super soldier serum, but they're creating super soldiers. Damn it, it's literally right there. I just needed to just put it that way in my own head.
Sometimes you just gotta put it into the ether by speaking it into existence.
Maybe it's that because I didn't speak it out loud. I only was thinking about it in my head. I didn't put it together. But I like that they were invulnerable. I like that it would have made, basically them fighting them a lot harder and having to come up with more inventive ways of killing them, i.e., smashing Chase's head, to a pulp. That basically stopped him. And yeah, I would have liked to seen some of these experiments for them to try to get them to become like the super soldiers.
But the film did have stuff to kind of keep you engaged, even if it wasn't zombie action. Like when your boy Green Worm was blown up, the part with the landmines. Like, that's scary because holy shit, like knowing there's landmines there, how do you navigate after that? And I like how they had the bayonet. That's how they check. They just tap. I would be so scared to tap. You might tap hard by accident, bro.
I would have been like, Ricky, I'll follow you, Ricky.
But let's say you get past that, right? What's to say there's no other areas that are littered with mines? You gotta everywhere you go, you gotta keep looking. That's nerve-wracking. Oh my God, I couldn't do it, man.
Well, it's just real quick because obviously, what year did I say this movie was?
This is 2018.
2018. So right now, what's his name? Wyatt Russell is going to be in the Thunderbolts as
How
US
crazy
agent.
is that? How I compare this to Cap, and
I know that's that's the only other part. When I was rewatching it the second time, I went, so this is like US agents, Captain America, what do you call it? Origin. Like this is where US Agent came from, and I know it wasn't, but that's like as you're watching it, then I know that right now Joseph Quinn is pretty much known for Stranger Things, but he's gonna be the human, Johnny Storm
until this summer.
And then I mentioned it before, or no, I didn't actually. I want to say something. Jacob Alexander is Grey Worm. And I saw him in the plane, and I really thought I was like, I told Adam, I'm like, that's Grey Worm, and in my head going, he don't make it long. And then when they show him later on, I'm like, oh no, there he is. But it was actually the Human Torch that didn't make it too long. I think he had like 2 lines in the whole movie. And then Euron Greyjoy. So like this movie had.
Don't forget the other guy too. The other German guy, the guy that was trapped. They strapped him to the fucking Jeep and they put the explosives. He was a Game of Thrones. He was Harry. He was a Lannister. I know that. I think he was. Or if he wasn't a Lannister, he was allied with them. Because of course that guy's always a villain, man. That guy's always got that face. Bro.
But I just watching the cast, But again. I didn't sit there. Oh yeah, it's a great cast. I love seeing like an ensemble like this that all got big movies that are going to be coming up right now.
When I looked up the cast for this, I didn't realize Chloe's aunt is played by Meg Foster.
Yes, dude, they didn't really show her. They did not show her.
I saw this last night again. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't see Meg Foster. Where the fuck is she?
Yeah, under all that makeup.
But when did they show her in makeup though?
Oh, so when
Refresh my memory on that.
Boyce starts walking down the hall going to the room.
Yeah.
And he gets to the room just as the door is opening. She pops up. When? So he sees her and she's got like all these boils.
That's it though. Yeah, but that's
yeah. It's pretty much it. God. I know. It was so weird because I was like, "Oh, Meg Foster's in here." So when I first watched it, I'm like, I did not see Meg Foster. And then so I looked it up, aunt. Well, that's why I didn't see Meg Foster.
What a random cameo! Like,
And hey, listen, she got herself in a movie under makeup. You know,
she wasn't credited though.
unrecognizable completely. So I think, hey, I think that's pretty awesome of her.
Yeah.
Well, anything else like you wanted to chop on the zombies themselves or the scientist part?
Let me just get to the comments real quick before we get into that. Well, I don't know where we left off. Right here, right? Yeah. So one of the romantic end of it. One the romantic end of it. I hope that after all Ed went through, that he will end up with Chloe. Who's Ed? Oh, Boyce, yeah.
Boyce.
Or maybe the one who saved her little brother's gonna get it. No, I think Ed got that. Ed's gonna bag that.
I love Tibbet. Tibbet
Yeah,
was my favorite.
he was great. Yeah, I love.
I'm Tibbet.
I'm a gum chewer, man. So when this guy's constantly packing the gum in his mouth, first of all, highly obnoxious though. If you want to make somebody a villain, have him chewing gum. Jesus Christ, I hate that. I hate seeing it. I like chewing gum, but I hate seeing other people chew gum. But he's great, man. I remember him from Orange is the New Black. I've seen him other places too, but that's the character I always resonate him with. Live, what the F? If not for notification, I forgot. What up, P Rockzilla?
What's up, P Rock?
Thanks for joining and saying what up, brother. Yeah, man. With Brains and Brews, this is our second live episode. Let's say probably once a month, give or take. We'll be going live with Brains.
End of the month.
Yeah, so keep an eye out. We're gonna definitely be live at least once a month with this show. We drink beer and we talk zombie films. Hi, P Rock. That's Lexi. This new weed makes me into a super soldier. I know, man. Oh, bro, I gotta hit you up tomorrow, brother. All right. The flamethrower was pretty gnarly. I'm assuming that's what he meant, right?
Yeah.
All right.
when actually, yeah, that's she basically when Chloe toasted. Yeah, she toasted this. Yeah. So that's the other way.
Yeah.
You gotta really fucking torch the motherfucker because he still kept moving. By the way.
That's the one thing. Fire does not take out Captain America, though, so I don't know about that. But, if it makes sense in this film, but they're dead. Laugh a lot. I want to be on your level of high P-Rock. Nah, man. There's only one person that can compete with P-Rock is this guy right here. But I don't know. I think P-Rock may have this guy, though, man. P-Rock's, that's a veteran right there, bro.
I'm older than him. Trust me, I got more time on him.
Big life from us. I love my submarine, man. I feel so cozy in him, man. Queen Masuda. Ha ha ha. What up, Queen? That's good. All right. How about you, Joe? Anything else you want to add to before we move on?
No, I mean, like I said, I really, for me, I'm mixed on. I'm happy with how the movie was, but at the same time, would have liked to see more of the experiments and more of the soldiers, or that they were making. See a little bit more interaction because, I mean, actually, because we'll throw in one little more question because we're gonna rate our beer, but I'm gonna ask you another question after that because I want to be a little bit more buzzed for the question. So I'll rate my beer first. If y'all know, and it was called out before, that it's kind of shown that my cup is never empty. I have not needed to refill it as much as I normally do, and can say that I'm feeling pretty nice with it. It's because it's not so. The one thing, because it's so light, I'm not really feeling full. If that makes any sense.
That's the advantage of a light beer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not feeling full. I feel good. Like I was sitting there going, all right, we got to rate it so that way I can sip it a little faster. Because, I want to take my time sipping it and not do a show where I'm saying I'm going to rate this beer and I just drank 2 cans. I wanted to try to keep it to the 1 can. I feel pretty good. On this one, I'm going to probably be busting this out during the summer. So I'm going to give this one 5 cans. A 5-pack.
5-pack.
A 5-pack.
Interesting. I'm on the same wavelength as you. I'm going to do a 5-pack as well. I need to drink more, like you said, to really...
Yeah.
Like once you really get nice, then And also, this is very important, is how you wake up the next morning. I judge beer that way too. Sometimes I drink beer and I wake up feeling like shit the next day. I ain't drinking that shit no more. Whatever that was, I ain't drinking it. But we'll see. But so far, it's a good taste. This one, Venomous Villains. It is a good taste. It's not heavy at all. It's really light. So I dig that. No bad aftertaste so far, and I gotta keep drinking more. Right now, I'm leading on a 5-pack right now.
All right.
Let's see. That's mainly for flavor and how it's got me now. You know, I can feel the little buzz coming in, so it's there. But as of right now, maybe if you asked me by the end of the stream, it'll be different or tomorrow.
Shit, I might be trying that one. But all right. So, only because I felt just the same way that I felt that the opening sequence needed to be discussed. Something else that just had to be discussed was when the serum was not used on the dead, and the fight between Ford and Wagner after they're both juiced up. Because again, Wagner,
Red Skull versus Cap, bro.
The fucking guy turned around, half his face is gone, and he gave me the New 52 Joker look. Because that's what I thought about when you saw, like, it's like, you know what I'm talking about, like how Joker's he ripped his face. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that's after Heath Ledger came out, and every iteration of Joker has to be fucked up somehow.
But I sat there, I'm like, this
I
guy
can see that.
like the fucking Joker on the Super Soldier Serum.
Because the way his face was fucking mutilated, it looked like he had a permanent smile.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of cool, but because the movie in the beginning part when Ford captures Wagner and beats the fuck out of him, you know, now the tables are turned, and then Ford injects himself with it. So now you got both of them fighting. I in my head went, okay, so you didn't give me a lot of zombie, but you're giving me what happens if you're alive and take this. And I thought it was pretty fucking cool. And not just that though, because even though you had the invulnerability, if you notice, and I think it's because Wagner injected himself with 2 of them, because when he threw Ford around, Ford was still feeling it. They were, you know, like he would sit there, like he was, and so even with the serum, if you're alive, you're not feeling it. So I'm thinking you don't feel it because you're dead. That's what I'm saying. But so alive, your sensors, your receptors are still awake. Yeah. So when you're getting thrown around, you're actually going to still feel it. It might not hurt, or like the damage is not going to be that bad, but you still feel it. But I thought the fucking fight was awesome. Yeah. And you?
Yeah, I dug it. I dug it because it was this movie, but I liked it. See, even though I'm complaining about the lack of zombie, I also like we have both mentioned earlier. I'm a big sucker for war films, and especially films with a small like group of characters that are in enemy territory. Like when he got chased by that dog, boys, and he ran into the back. He made it into the back of the convoy, the jeep at the end. All his compatriots were all there. His unit. All dead, man. I'm pretty sure Joseph Quinn was part of the guy he looked at. Probably.
I didn't. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna rewatch this again. This is definitely a rewatch.
So yeah, but when I first saw this, I did not know who Joseph Quinn was at all. On the rewatch, I'm like, oh shit, he was in this fucking movie. I didn't know. So I love that. It's those little moments like that that I dug. Again, like I mentioned, the landmine scene. It did kind of slow down a bit, especially when they go to Chloe's house and they're in there. I wish the pace would have been a little bit faster and given us more of the action as far as the horror elements. Apparently, the one thing I will say, the original script for this had more horror. It was a smaller group, and it was more focused on fighting zombies. And he pulled out a sword at one point in the movie. And I hate it when they take horror elements out of films because they think, nah, this isn't gonna sell. Come on, it's hard. Yeah, horror. Look at the box office now. How many movies come out now that half of them are horror films, and a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them are successful because their budget is a lot smaller and they make a lot. Terrifier 3, hello, have done well and marketed well, and you're not fucking playing your audience as idiots. You're gonna be successful. So I hate it when they say, "Oh, we gotta tone this down." I can't stand stuff like that. But what we did get, I'm satisfied with. It's different. That's what I like about it. It gave us a different side of the war, and it's just almost like a secret war because nobody knows about this. Only boys, Tibbets, Paul, Chloe, and the other guy. I forgot his name. I don't know who that guy is. I forgot his name. But
Right.
that's it. So they're all gonna. It's that secret's gonna go down with them. So I love little stories like this, man. Even though it's a big budget for a movie like this, but the story itself was more intimate, and I dig that.
Well, I again, I messaged you when I said, all right, I'm starting it, and I
When you
sat.
messaged me and you were like, "Oh my God, this opening," I'm like, "God, I forgot about that. I can't wait." I swear to you, I was about to hit play. I just came back from downstairs. I was like, probably a couple of joints in by that time. Like, oh, let's go, son. Let's go. I can't wait.
I'm glad we did it. It's very rarely we get to do me doing a first view of something because I've pretty much seen so much. So coming in, and yes, even though I saw it twice, but I wanted it. I've spoken this before. You know, you like to see other people's reaction,
Yeah, of course.
and I will say, Adam, Adam, my partner, Adam, think of him like Dr. Evil. Like, he'll sit there like, Daisy's on his lap. He's like, that movie sucked. I can't believe he just made me waste an hour and a half. Like, he's very critical, a lot more than I am. He loved it. And I knew he would. And I said to him, I'm like, it's a lot of,
It's unique. Yeah, it's unique.
Yeah, I'm like, he's the action. Yes, there was a little slow pacing.
Yeah.
He cannot stand slow paced movies. And usually when we review him, he goes, is this a JR? And I'm like, yeah, this is a JR one. But Abe, same thing. Like, at one point, stood up and I'm like, you okay? He's like, yeah, I just need a stretch, but I want to keep watching the movie. And I was like, just sitting there focused on it.
I feel that same with beers too. The next day, yeah, that's when you know you got a bad beer, man. Like, oh, when your stomach's fucked up or you got a headache or something, that's when you know I ain't drinking that shit again. Made it to work safe, yay! Rain slowed down, beautiful rainbow now.
Oh, I'm recording. I can't go out there. Or not, actually, I'm live, not even recording.
Oh, we'll be out there soon.
But yeah, no, this definitely, it's another one. Because I use a DirecTV app, and if I'm scrolling and the movie's on, this is another one. If I come across it, I'll hit play at any point that the movie's on. I think it was different, which is again a good thing, because you didn't know what to expect. It had the studio probably was one that got more involved and wanted them to cut back on the gore. But I'm sorry, when the word gets out that your movie's about a zombie, only horror people are going to go see it.
Yeah.
I don't think if somebody goes, oh, what's that movie about? Zombies. I don't like those type of movies.
This reminds me like Brightburn, where it's Brightburn was a horror film but disguised as a superhero film. So you got the people that want to see horror, then you got ones that want to see more superhero stuff. And if there's a clash in interest. If somebody doesn't want to see one or the other, that's the issue. So if somebody goes into this, oh, I want to see a war movie. I don't want to see all this sci-fi stuff added to it. That's the problem. If you go in there thinking it's one thing, and you're gonna come out disappointed. Especially if you go in there thinking you're gonna watch like Dead Snow, which is another zombie Nazi.
I still have to see that one.
Oh yeah, if you want to see zombies, like watch Dead Snow. But
Yeah,
this one, it's different. It's well made, well acted. It's got it's shot beautifully,
Yeah, I mean,
it's just really really well made, and I dug the fact that it was different. I just wish they would have pushed the envelope more like you said, more crazy experiments, like that head that was alive. And I wanted to see more of multiple zombies attacking. What did you want to see? A whole like unit of soldiers that are undead just like rampaging through that fucking field? That would have been fucking awesome.
That would have been. I would have, if anything, hinted that at the end. And when they go to blow it up, realize that right below that is an army of the dead ones. How crazy this could be if they don't destroy it. That's a cool idea, but for me, just seeing like the experiments, like the lady, if in the parts take out when they're at Chloe's house, and in there show us what's going on in the lab.
Yeah, I agree.
Because here's holy shit. Because think about it, So they're going in there to take down the signal jammer.
Yeah.
So, you can intersect them talking about their mission, and then you cut away to experiments that are going on. And
Yeah,
you
dude.
build the audience going, oh, shit.
And with that, you
They
build up
don't
the villains
know. Yeah, they're like, they don't know that they're about to go into a lab where they're actually testing it. You know what I mean? Our heroes are, yes, they were blindsided anyways. But for us viewers, you could have built the tension in our heroes finally coming into contact with them by
Yeah.
interjecting scenes of what has been going on down there, of what they're about to face. And you don't have to give us like the whole like them fighting but just seeing the actual experiments, the horrors, them testing it on an individual, like the one that the guy looked in a little hole to see what I wanted to know what they were doing to him.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
same. That's
So
right. Yeah. They didn't show it.
that's what would have been a good. So if you don't want to go full hardcore, the things tearing people up, but you want to they could have done that. It's too late. Honestly, I still love the movie. I'm only saying things that I felt would have helped build up like that the gravitas in this mission. I can't believe I spit that word out just now. But anyway.
Gravitas. That's a JR word, isn't it?
Well, before we sign out, anything last you got to say?
Yeah, dude, Ford. I mean, how cool is Wyatt Russell, man? Like, to me, I'm watching this last night, right? And I'm like, God, dog. It's like Kurt Russell was reborn. Like, this guy is Kurt Russell reincarnated, bro.
With Goldie Hawn.
Yeah. Yes.
You can see. Know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Meaning, be like you can see the mixture of both, but he's got Kurt Russell's
it's just
like.
It's just not that. He's got the looks, but that's expected. But the way he speaks, his mannerisms, his cadence, everything about him screams a young Kurt Russell. So we're getting Kurt Russell all over again, bro. And Kurt Russell, I'm a big Carpenter fan. Kurt Russell's one of my favorite actors of all time. He's fucking great. And to see his son just finding success in Hollywood, not just in horror films, because he was in Black Mirror. That's why I first saw him in Black Mirror.
Yeah, he was in Black Mirror.
And
that was a good episode too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the video game tester.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
And then now he's in he's U.S. agent. He's John Walker, and he did a great job with that. So he's getting recognition now, and he's gonna be in the next Avengers film. So his stock is continuously rising, and I want to see him do more movies like not like this, but more horror films, but more intimate films that shows him, like focus on him, because I love everything about him. Like I said, it's like Kurt Russell like went into like this fountain of time and got reincarnated as his younger self, and he's gonna start his career all over again. And it's just great, man. So
if they wanted to do a prequel to Escape from New York,
yeah, there you go.
I mean, literally.
Hey, we got O'Shea Jackson he played Ice Cube. And the NWA film, so anything's possible.
There you go.
If you ever do a Kurt Russell biopic, just get Wyatt Russell, man. It's him. Just look at him. It's fucking Kurt Russell, bro. So I just wanted to give him his flowers, man. He's awesome.
Well, and I will say, because this came out pre Falcon and Winter Soldier and Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
So I didn't see you. I knew that's who he's going to be playing and played him. I only saw Fox. Right, that was his name.
What?
What's his last name?
Who?
I put the Wyatt's in the movie.
Ford.
I said Fox.
Oh.
I only saw Corporal Lewis Ford. Like, he did a good job that I didn't think of the other roles I've seen him in, and that's when a actor does their job where you could make you forget other people that they're playing because they're into that role. The whole cast was awesome. I mean, again, a lot of people they're at this point, again, 2018, this is
jeez, I know.
7 years ago.
It's
7 years
crazy.
ago.
Oh my god.
So at this point, a lot of them were up and comers, just getting their footing, getting their roles. When did Game of Thrones premiere?
Game of Thrones premiered on April 17th, 2011. The show is based on a
All right,
series.
Alexa, stop. All right, so Euron and
But don't
Grey
forget though,
were
but
were
Euron
already.
came way deep into Game of Thrones, and Grey Worm came in like season 3, I think. So.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but
Oh,
still, all the
you're
meaning.
saying yeah.
Yes, and and he actually is playing Lestat in the Interview with the Vampire series.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
So it's just
How is
great.
that?
I
Is
haven't
he
seen
good
it
in
yet.
that?
It's
Oh.
on my. I still. Listen, we have to watch so much stuff for our channel as it is. I still gotta finish Invincible. 2 more episodes.
Jesus Christ,
I'm
I
not
finished
supposed
it.
to. Yeah,
Ooh,
by me.
come on, man.
But yeah, so for me, like I said, I'm glad we did this one. You know, it's not our run of the mill zombie movies that we're gonna do, but again, it falls into the category. I thought it was fun. So before we go out, if you want to hit the comments, and then I'll tell everybody what we're doing next week. I mean, in a month.
Sure. Let me just make sure I don't have anything else in my notes real quick. Um, it's interesting because if you notice, there's a scene in this movie when Ford tells Boyce that he set the timer. They got 18 minutes. From the moment he sets that timer,
Fucking went off.
Not exactly, but right around that 18-minute mark, it goes off. So that was all in real time, which is pretty cool.
Oh, see,
That was filmed in real time. The whole sequence was all in real time. Once Ford said we got 18 minutes, the timer, I set it to 18. Right there, if you notice, it is at exactly around the 18-minute mark. After that, boom, explosion. The whole place goes bloom, blast them to smithereens. So we got a few comments here.
I'm gonna pull up our calendar real quick so I can tell everybody what the next movie is going to be.
Looks like him. Yep, Wyatt Russell looks a lot like his dad, man. That's crazy. God damn, yeah, it was 2011. I jumped on later Game of Thrones. I saw Game of Thrones in like 2014 or something like that.
I started that shit from the beginning.
I caught up right before the season. What was this season 4? Right when I don't want. I know it's old. I'm not gonna get into no spoilers, but I think it was between season 4 and around here. Hey Lexi, and all right. Oh, I gotta start vetting these. All right, here we go. I like that it just gave you a taste of the zombie we seen. Yeah, thank you, Adam. I am glad you had mentioned it.
That's a good point too.
That's what I was trying to get into earlier, but you said it a lot better than me. We've seen zombies before. Like I said, if you want to see that, we got Dead Snow. If you want to see the Nazi zombie in action, this is different. This wasn't really about that. It's about the soldiers, their mission, and the horrors that they fucking run into. So, good shout. I watched God and Lost from the beginning. Man, Lost is another show I did not see from the beginning. I went and I that's the first show I've ever binged. Because when I saw it was on Netflix, so I started from season 1. Boom, 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 until it was over.
I was there for the season premiere on actual live, like no DVR, none of that shit. I watched that shit live.
I never experienced Game of Thrones. I'm out a loss like on a week-to-week basis. I would have went nuts if I did because that's.
It was so hard. And by the way, the people that I knew at that time that were watching it, I'm
a poor.
I called it out and knew that it was all purgatory. Same for both. All right, so we will be back live again in April. It'll be April 27th, and we're going to do Shaun of the Dead. Yes, on the channel we already covered Juan of the Dead. Well, I mean, everybody knew Shaun, so I wanted to introduce people to Juan. But yes, we're going to be doing Shaun of the Dead. I will say this was probably, God, I hope I'm not hated for it. It'll be like my 3rd or 4th watch on this one for some
I've seen Shaun of the Dead so many times.
Have you? Well, so, all right. It's good.
A love letter to Dawn of the Dead, bro. How can I not love this movie?
I'll have to look into that. But yeah, so that is going to be our next one.
There you go.
Yes, Shaun of the Dead. So yes, mark it on your calendar. April 27th.
I can't wait for that.
And as far as what the Beer Brothers are going to be dropping to you guys for the next month, we are going to be dropping on April 1st. Do the math. If you know horror, I'm not even going to tell you the name of the movie. You should already know.
April 1st. That's a Tuesday.
Tuesday. We don't drop on Tuesday.
Be on the lookout.
But we're doing holiday horror, so we wanted to make sure to take that one up. You'll see it when you look at the calendar. And next Sunday is going to be part 2 to Pan's Labyrinth. Horror Fiend Drive-In Theater is going to be dropping the full, hitting on all the wonderful things of this movie. Ricky, are you
Well, not
excited?
everything. We'll be.
Well, you know what I mean. But the stuff that really sticks
I
out.
don't want expectations, but yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I
it's gonna
mean,
be all the stuff, all the important stuff. Yeah. Oh, come on, Lexi. I'm just fucking with you. Everyone knows it's April Fools.
And after that, I mean, do we let the cat out the bag yet?
For what? No, not
No.
yet. Let it percolate a little bit.
Well, just look for something special coming to you on the 13th. And as I said, Shaun of the Dead, we'll let you know what's coming on the 20th because I got to get with my brother here.
beer
Breeze.
Beer bros.
I don't have any brie
much-
cheese. I ate it earlier.
Somebody's typing really fast.
Type fast or...
What else, Selena V? What's good?
But yeah, so make sure to tune in. And as far as Three Corners of Horror, on Thursday, we will be doing a live review of Death of a Unicorn, starring Paul Rudd and Jenny Ortega. So, Rick, any other last words before?
All I know is so far, I don't know anything about this film. I didn't even know that was the cast until you mentioned it last week on the prior stream. But it's a very polarizing film so far. So this is why I hate going into movies knowing that because it's gonna.
You shouldn't have read anything. I don't read
dude,
stuff.
I'm not.
Don't do it. So, okay, how about
I'm
this?
also on social media.
Wait, how
People
about
just like
this?
to talk.
How about this? You made me completely stop watching trailers.
Yeah, good.
You need to stop reading things because
I
it's
don't read
going
things.
to
So,
change.
If I
even
follow
if
somebody, right, there's people that they watch the movie, they immediately got to go on social media and tell us their opinions on it. I hate that. I know they could do whatever they want. I could not follow these people, but
Train your eyes. If you see the word unicorn, don't read it. I mean, it's
Stop.
literally a very really clear word, by the way.
I
So
hate
if you
that.
see
Oh.
unicorn, they're going to be talking about, just don't do it for that reason. Yep.
I'm walking as I'm typing. My apologies. No,
so
hey,
you can't.
man.
Oh, so she can't chew gum and type. Got it. I would chew gum and talk. But yeah, so thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys. Oh, wait.
There you go, Joe. Read that one. I got it. Ed was put through the same shit, but green as he was. He kicked ass. Oh yes, he was green. I agree. But yeah, he manned up though. Very hopeful for the rest of us, maybe. Oh wait a minute, wait, Ed, not for Shaun of the Dead, right? Not that Ed. Ed for
Yeah,
this movie,
but
right?
yeah.
Okay, making sure. Cause...
All right, but yes,
take it home.
thank you for joining us, Rick. Salute.
Salute, my brother. Oh,
Another Sunday night live stream Beer Brothers. And with that, make sure to follow, subscribe, keep an eye out for everything we've got dropping. JR will be back to his regular Tuesdays. Yes, we hijacked this Tuesday, but he is going to be back on his Tuesdays. So with that,
yes, thanks for pointing it out, yo.
but with that, make sure that you don't get motherfucking bit. Oh, I hit my glass on my microphone.
Oh, Joe fucked that up. But that being
It's all
said, thanks for joining us, everyone. See
Yes,
you
thank
next
you.
month. See you Thursday for that live stream of what's it called? Death of a Unicorn?
Death of a Unicorn.
I don't even know the name of the movie. So, all right, man. We'll see you soon. Stay scared.
Don't get bit.
Peace.
Guessing these devils be savages. Slimmed and entranced with the averages. Sitting on the low like you added slick. Darkness make you disappear like a magic trick. Pull up to the table, come down and sit. These devils try to tie you the crown with it. Now you surrounded by counterfeits, trying to chop you up into 1,000 bits.